I don't usually do this, but can I get a side of ranch?
Hey, you know what this needs? Is a little ranch.
I actually specifically remember asking for a side of ranch. Yeah.
Can I get some ranch?
Oh, everything is wonderful. But can I get a side of ranch? Welcome to the podcast, everyone. I'm here with Gino today.
Hey.
Hey, Gino Riccardi.
Yep.
Oh, very Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, very Italian. Do you ever, like, when, I feel like they changed the feature now, but where you have your phone in your back pocket and you, like, pull it out and you're like, I have 75 dark photos of nothing because it just took pictures in your pocket?
I've had that before, yeah.
Well, mine would do audio for some reason. It would take videos.
Yeah.
And I would have, like, 3 minutes worth of, like, restaurant noise. And I was like, oh, my God. And then I was like, oh, what a good idea. I'm going to use it.
You should have just kept that a secret because I thought you, like, went into a restaurant and recorded some
I know.
background noise. And I'm like, dude, that was so smart. And then you're like, dude, I had this shit on my phone on accident.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I could use this shit.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is still
that's
smart,
kind of, that's where I got the idea to do that intro.
Yeah.
Is I was like cleaning up my phone and I was like, what is this? And I listened, I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Hell yeah.
I know. I didn't have to go into a restaurant to get that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been weird just sitting there with my phone up in the middle.
That's something I would do. Do we have enough? Stop talking.
Yeah. Wave those server off. We don't need them. Get out of here, please. That would have been smarter. I wish I could like figure out how to like clean it up to where I can hear the audio like specifically.
Yeah.
And just because that would like, I was serving. I wonder how my night went that night. You know, if it was terrible or something. You know, I had like a shitty person who like yelled at me and I got it on recording.
Yeah.
I don't think I can. I'm not that techy.
That actually happened recently. Some chick went nuts and they got it all. They got it all. It was like 9 minutes. It was like a 9-minute rant, like episode.
What?
And I don't know if management in general just got like really laid back, but the jobs that I've had recently, like management's like, yeah, you could tell them to fuck off.
Really?
They need to hear it.
Oh, wow.
Like, just tell them we've done what we can. We've been nice, and now they need to kindly fuck off and know that this is not acceptable behavior for an adult.
I feel like people are definitely worse because of COVID. I feel like they're definitely worse. So I feel like you're probably right. Management's at a point where it's like, okay. Because like I feel like pre-COVID, managers at restaurants they were just like, we have to do whatever it is for the restaurant, you know?
I literally had a coworker get a piece of chicken thrown at her, and the manager was just like, I'm so sorry, we're going to get you a free piece of chicken. Because yours is on the ground now.
Yeah, because it slipped out of your hand, throwing it at
what the fuck is... You get punched in the face in a lot of places.
Yeah,
like,
you do. Yeah, you do. That must have happened in California, though, because that's why they didn't get punched in the face.
It happened in Huntington Beach.
Oh, of course. Oh,
so
God.
it's kind of California. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, my managers at my job now don't say that, but I've had coworkers go up to tables and be like, you tipped me $4 on 100. That's not acceptable. And they called in and everything. That server didn't get even reprimanded. So, you know, they're at a point where they're like, yeah, fuck you. Like, you know, we're doing a service for you. You don't have to be an asshole.
We're making it nice.
We're making it nice.
Yeah.
I know, dude. I definitely feel like people have gotten worse since COVID, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. Everywhere I work is pretty laid back. And mainly, like, I was fortunate I didn't have to deal with that. Most of the people I deal with, like, I'm like, I forgot your thing. And they're like, it's cool. I'm like, really? It's cool? All right.
I feel like I've been at this job now for like 6 months. So, and pre that job, I was like not really working because of COVID, but the place I was at before that, it was like one of the worst places. And that's where I feel like I'm so jaded, especially from COVID, because when people would go in there, they were just it was like the middle of the pandemic, like only a year in when they kind of opened up restaurants or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And you could dine outside, and people were just so rude and demanding. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm trying to learn to breathe in this mask, and you're like yelling because I forgot your barbecue sauce. Like, you know what I mean? And my job now, people are definitely more laid back, but I have like PTSD of that shit.
Was it a fine dining type of establishment? No?
Not at all.
But it was in the Burbank area?
It was. Yeah. It was.
I find there's a change in social climate in the Burbank area. And it doesn't, you don't have to be working at a nice place, but everyone's like a director or a writer someone who works for famous people but isn't famous and they got a fucking chip on their shoulder.
Well, I know what you're saying, but I almost feel like it's in a way like opposite, where the people that live in Burbank who aren't in like the entertainment industry or doing that feel like because they live in Burbank, they have that kind of like power to be that way. Yeah. And then they act that way. Cause like we would get a lot of those people in, and they were like people who are like stern and know what they want and are direct don't bother me. It's the people that think that they're like when people are like, yeah, I'm getting a steak, and you're like, okay, great. And they're like, I want it well done. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, I'm classy, I'm getting a steak, but I'm getting jerky. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Give me ketchup.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I feel like those people are what we get in Burbank, and it's like, you're not special. You're not anything. Like, just chill out and don't be an asshole.
I worked at my only LA job was, I worked at, are we allowed to say restaurant names?
I don't care anymore.
I worked at the Daily Grill in Burbank.
Yeah.
And it was good money. But, like, I worked breakfast, and this is what I call it. I got Mexicanned is what happened. So they just stuck me. And, then, like, I don't speak Spanish or anything like that. Yeah. So they just gave me the shitty shift. Everyone's so angry in the morning, you know? And, like, and it was the only time I've ever had a manager called because the salad just landed a little too close before the entree, and he's like, what's happening right now? Yeah, I need to speak to somebody right now. This is a problem. And I was, admittedly at the moment, like, I wasn't really great at my job. Like, I was still, but I was like, dude, honestly, like this thing right here, not
not that big of a deal.
Not like you had to ask 6 times for your avocado or whatever.
Right. Right. That's one of my favorite things that people complain about, is that their food comes out too quickly when they were wanting to. And it's like, most of those people that happens to never specify that they want it coarse in the first place. But secondly, like, trying to course food as a server and you're not at fine dining is like one of the most difficult things to do.
Yeah, you're guessing reality. Yeah. You're like, okay, so we're this busy, and it's going to take this long for this thing to happen. And this guy's he looks like a fast eater, a slow eater. He looks hungry, but he looks like a chewer.
So your timing is choose. Yeah. You're over there like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Okay. No. Okay.
Shit, the guy just went on break in the kitchen. Oh God. Yeah. Oh no.
Okay. The guy who's eating is on his phone. He's gonna take longer. Okay.
He's on his phone.
I don't know. Gauging his social media patterns.
You're right. You're hitting up other servers who've served him at a different restaurant. You're like, well, how long does he take?
Yeah. Do you know this guy? Have you seen this guy?
What you don't know is that there's a secret online resource that all the servers know all the guests in the entire world. We're
actually,
like, oh, this guy.
In hotels, there is.
No way.
Because I worked at a hotel bar, and it was great. Like, the tips were fantastic, but the management was, like, not. You know? It was like, they were cool, but they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. They'd order me, like, Heineken Light. I'm like, I've never sold a Heineken Light in my fucking life. Where am I going to put this shit? You know? Like, I like Heineken Light. So, well, then keep it to your fucking self. Study the inventory. That's what you do. But it was great, but like, nobody knew anything, and the guests were totally fine with it because they're from out of town. They just want me to like them, right? And it was so great. Tips were fantastic, but I'd never get busy, and they just bring it whenever. I don't care, or like, and like the cook didn't know. I'm like, salad usually comes before. He's like, you got to let me know. I'm like, I shouldn't have to let you know. Salad always comes before.
It always comes first.
That doesn't make any kind of sense.
I know. And I get it, because like, you don't want your entree to hit the table and it be getting like cold while you're eating your salad, but it's like, it's not the worst thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was saying. There's a database. Yeah, so they would communicate with each other, and they're like, so like, I would never get, but one time I had a problem guest, and they're like, yeah, I talked to some of the other Hiltons, and this guy's a problem. Whoa. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm like, you guys talk to each other like that? They're like, yeah, we know anyone who comes regularly to a Hilton. We know everything that they do, every mistake that they ever reported, every complaint that they ever like this guy. This guy is always trying to get a free room. Fuck this guy.
Wow. Well, I mean, I figured there had to be some sort of tracking, because for sure that guy's a Hilton member. You know? Yeah. So he signs his shit in right away, and he's like, oh, that's crazy.
He introduces himself. I'm a Diamond member. Like, everybody's a fucking Diamond member, okay? Everybody. You're not.
That woman who's pregnant, her child is a Diamond member, not even born yet. So you're not special. That's funny. God, a hotel. I feel like I feel like a hotel serving wise, like in a restaurant or something, is probably dope. But like working in a hotel, like as the front desk, is probably one of the worst. I bet people are.
Oh, the front desk gets the shit end of the stick.
They do.
I just see them get yelled at night and day. And these young girls, they're like in college. They've never dealt with this type of shit before. They don't know how to kindly tell somebody to fuck off. I call it the, like, because you smile and you say something mean.
Of course.
I call it the fuck you very much face.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's nice with the masks right now because you could do it so easily without people even realizing what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, okay, what did you say? Like, I've said stuff under my breath and like they didn't hear it. And I would just be like, oh, I said I'll be right back, you know? But really what I said is like, you're a piece of shit or something, you know? I
think a common misconception is that like, if you fuck with a server or someone who handles your food, they'll fuck with your food, which generally isn't true. In my experience. But we will drive you temporarily insane. We know how to do it, and we know how to get away with it. Every little nuance of like, we know that place. You know, like
My favorite is when people ask you, like they'll say something to you, like condescending or smart, and instead of like. My favorite thing to do is like to reiterate the question back so many times until they realize what they said, you know? Like if, what could be a good example of this? If like, my favorite is when somebody doesn't order something, but said they did, you know? Like I had a lady who was like, oh yeah, we're just waiting on the kids' pizza. And I go, sorry? She's like, oh yeah, the kids' pizza. I go, the kids' pizza? You ordered a kids' pizza? And she's like, yeah, we ordered the kids' pizza. I go, I got that. We were talking about pizza and we were talking about the different kinds, and you ordered this one, you know, and I'll just like.
Just harp on it. It's just like, we're 5 minutes talking about the pizza.
Exactly.
You said the word pizza so many times by now.
That she's like, you know, they don't, because I put the pizza in because she told me, and I ran back to the computer and came back, and I was like, wait a minute, and I'm like killing time till it cooks.
You're killing time. You know how to kill time? Or you ever get where like you piss them off so much and now you're like, I can't look at them again until I have this thing in my hand.
Oh, 100%.
And now I need to ignore my whole section.
You're hitting up your other servers. You're like, dude, can you look at 10 please? I can't go back to 12. I can't go back to 12.
Can't see
do
them.
it. And you're just in the kitchen sweating, and the chef's like, well, we're going to get it out when we get it out. And you're just like, all right, no, it's okay.
You're like watching it. You're trying to make time move faster by staring at it. You're like, meat needs to cook as fast as meat needs to cook.
Yeah. And then you do everything to just avoid like that table until you get back there, except for like, oh man. Then you have to go back when it's been so long that you know it's not ready yet, and you're like, this is the time I have to go. I have to do a table touch. And if I don't, they're really going to be mad.
It's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
You just face the music.
Like, everyone's finished their food. This one person is still hungry. This is bad. Yeah. This is going to be. Yeah. And like, I always think about like half a world away, people are getting tortured underneath, you know, and we're like, where's the chicken fettuccine? Where's the chicken fettuccine? This is life or death, the chicken fettuccine.
I think about that all the time. I'm like, especially when people like complain to me for something really stupid, like you were saying, like setting your food down a little bit too early or whatever. It's like, be happy you have food to be set down in front of you. Like, are you kidding?
You are asking for food and it appears 5 to 10 minutes later. It's just like, I don't know how it happens. I don't care how it happens. Yeah. I say salad, and there's salad. And there's like... I said no croutons. You know?
I know. I'm fairly new at my job right now, so I'm not still comfortable enough to go to the kitchen when they fucked up, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm still like, I do that tiptoe thing where you're kind of like... oh, guys, this one's terrible, you know? And you're like, she didn't tell me she didn't want cheese on there because she said vegan, but, you know, you have to, like, jump around it so they're not, like, annoyed of you and have to remake it.
Yeah. They just give you the look.
Yeah.
All right, her again.
Yeah, and, like, it's like, I'm going to make it, but get the fuck out of my face. I love that shit.
This one, when people come and they come in demanding, I automatically develop the answer to everything you want is no attitude. Just I need them pissed off the bat. I need to crazy them out so much so that when the thing actually happens, everybody else is so sick of them.
Totally.
I'm like, he asked for a handful of things. We don't even have half of those things. Do you have Corona? No.
No.
What about Corona Light? What'd I just say?
What did I just say?
Can you read me the menu? No.
That, you know what? That, I don't think I've had somebody actually ask me that at this job yet. Which is like so crazy because so many people would do that. And we use like the QR code thing.
Yeah.
So you have to scan that. I mean, we have paper menus, but like we'll initially be like, just scan this to pull up the menu, right? And I've had people be like, what's your favorite thing? Which is like the most annoying question. But I've never actually, it's been a while that I've had somebody be like, well, where are your drinks? You know, and you're like, where the fuck do you think they are?
Yeah.
Under beverages. Hello. That's wow. I haven't had to deal with that. It's refreshing.
I work at a really strange place right now that all the drinks I prepare don't exist anywhere else in the world.
Oh shit.
It's a tequila place.
Okay.
And so we make all our own shit. It's a pain in the ass. We make I spend half of a Monday making just syrups and shit. Yeah.
Oh, prep, yeah.
But it's like in my mind, like metaphysically, I asked for that.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I just want to deal with like no artificial ingredients. It's like, do the work, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. If I just smoked weed, my ambitious self is like, no, let's chill,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then like an hour after that weed's worn off, my ambitious self is like, all right, bitch, let's go. But my body's still like, no, we're still chilling.
No, we're good.
This couch, man,
Yeah.
we're just going to stay. And I'll be like, fuck, dude. But
I get in get shit done mode when I get high. I don't know what it is.
depending on the weed I smoke, I do.
Yeah.
Or depending, I've noticed if I smoke and I just start doing something right away,
Yeah.
I'm the same. But if I smoke and I just sit for like 20 minutes and I don't,
Yeah.
I'm like, there it goes. There goes my day.
Yeah, but the only problem is I can't hold on to a train of thought. So I'll get these like comic inspirations.
Yep.
And I'll start writing something down. And like the third word in, I'll be like, okay, wait. Okay, wait.
You're like, did I say the or they? Did I say the or they?
The wording was perfect.
Are you ever dreaming and in your dream, your joke, you're doing a bit and it's so good and you're like, I need to wake up right now and write it down. And you wake up and you're like, it's there, but it's like not there. And you're like literally clawing at yourself being like, oh, it was on the tip of my tongue. And it just.
What I do is I write these incredible songs in my dreams. And they got all these parts. And I wake up and I'm like I'll try to like clink it out on the piano or something. I'm just like, I don't remember any of it. I was really grooving to it. I'm like, how can I write such a great song and not know what the fuck?
Any of it in the morning?
Any of it at all. It was like a blues. I don't know, man.
I've said this for a long time. Have you ever seen the show Black Mirror on Netflix?
No.
It's a crazy.
I mean, I've seen enough of it. It's like a Twilight Zone.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I've been like, I wish that there was something similar to that where like you had something, I guess you don't have to have it attached or whatever, but some way to like print out your dreams. And if they come out like all crazy and you have to decipher them, fine. But like, I need that shit.
Yeah.
Like print it out, like waking up like a fax machine being like, all right, what did we go over last night?
I get these incredible these movies, and the movies always have like a B storyline and a plot twist. Like it's a good, like I'm hanging on, and in the moments when I'm awake, I can explain it to my girlfriend, and she's like, "Oh, that sounds like a great movie."
Yeah.
She's like, "You need to write that down." I'm like, "Dude, that's gonna take me like at least a week to write all of that down." Like watching something and writing something.
Yeah.
Like write a movie you've already seen. It's gonna take you all fucking week.
Oh,
you know?
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
Do you not do like voice memo type shit?
I don't know. Like once I start talking into something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like writing it down also like helps you. Depending, like if I have something that I'm like on the cusp of losing it, I'll like shout it into my phone really quick, or I'll have Siri make me like a note, and then I'll like figure it out later. Because that has helped me with like a lot of times. Because we'll get lazy. We'll be like, I'll write that thought down later. It was a good thought, but I'll write it down later. And then you go to write it down, and you're like,
nothing.
What the fuck was it?
What? Yeah.
You know, it had something to do with pigs, and they, you know,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And I hate that because I feel like so many great ideas have just poof gone.
I've gotten in. I used to think I was, because I write a lot. I do write a lot. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand from other comics, like it's kind of something that not everybody does.
Yeah.
But I don't write down every single thing. So now I'm really in the habit. Like if something like just presents itself in my mind and the wording is just so.
Yeah.
And I'll just try it out briefly on somebody and like not tell them I'm workshopping. I'm just like, I don't understand why everything everyone hates about strip clubs is everything I love about strip clubs. And I'll say it, and they're like, I'm like, okay, it works. It works. My girlfriend will be kind, and she's like, I could see that working. I'm like, but it didn't.
Yeah, you're like, shut the fuck up and tell me yes or no.
It's just the laugh or not the laugh. She's like, that could work. It didn't. So,
that's all I needed to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's funny. I realize, or I noticed that like I do that a lot with like tables, you know. Yeah. I'll say I'll be at a table just kind of riffing, and I'll say something that's funny, and I'll be like, "Fuck, dude, that really hit."
Yeah.
And then I'll run back to like my the posse or whatever, and like quickly write it down and be like, "That was kind of funny. That was pretty funny."
That was like I tried comedy first, like a while ago, before I actually got into comedy. And I just always knew that comedy was going to be something I was going to do, like my whole life. And so like being a server and working with like a big staff, BJ's, that's where I worked. So
wait, which one?
In Huntington Beach.
I worked at BJ's for 5 years in Burbank.
Beach?
No, in Burbank.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Oh God, we got some stories.
It's a smart place to work at if you want to get around, because you could be transferred from one BJ's to another. And
just,
if
like, you're fairly
have
new.
a job,
Yeah.
Have a job waiting for you just wherever
that's
you go.
true.
Yeah. But like, so I would just already have workshopped my material before I get on stage. And so my shit was good, and I would just get on stage and my shit would work.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a car, and I lived in Orange County, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
I did about 3 months of that, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I need to figure this other thing out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Especially down there, that's tough because it's so much more spaced out.
Yeah.
Like up here, you could have paid for like an Uber or rode the bus 10 minutes to get to Hollywood or whatever, depending on where you were to hit the clubs. But Orange County's, I can see that being tougher.
Well, this is also immediately before there was a scene in Orange County. There's like 2 people responsible for this scene in Orange County, and I give them a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
But one of them doesn't like me, like just explicitly. I remember like our first interaction, because he used to run like a 6-hour mic show-ish, you know? And so his like goal is to be the king of Orange County, and that's fine for him.
Yeah.
You know? But like our first interaction was like, dude, you run a 6-hour show? Dude, I don't know if I could do that. And he looked at me and said, you can't do that. And I'm like, Wait a minute.
He runs a 6-hour show? What do you mean?
Well, not anymore because post-COVID, but yeah, he used to run like a 6-hour mic, and he would kind of, so you'd give him your availability, and so you would kind of be at his mercy, just kind of waiting for your spot, you know? Oh. And so he would sprinkle good people and bad people. Yeah. And that makes sense. But just like, I stopped going because I'm just, let me know when the fuck I'm going up. You know, it's like the big, you're waiting for 3 hours. Yeah. Like, you got real people in there. It's you don't need me hanging out, you know, like the lottery, and you're just like, oh, people wait for their spot or whatever.
Right. I hate that. That's how Flappers used to do it. I remember the first time I went to Flappers for an open mic, and I literally sat there for 3 hours, didn't get to go up, and I was like, I'm never coming back here.
Yeah, that's what I put up with it for like my first year of comedy, and then once I saw that I had options, I'm like, you know what? I love going there for the hang, but I don't need to get up on stage.
Yeah. What? That's crazy. Wow. So the scene's nice in Orange County now. Like I get some shows down there, but I don't. Not a lot.
It's not really like, you'd be surprised because everyone thinks that Orange County's been freewheeling through the whole pandemic situation. Right. But the Orange County comics are very woke.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah. And so, like, I've been in LA pretty much the whole time through the quarantine and everything. Yeah. And so where everyone else has like potentially irreversible psychological damage from staying in for a year and a half. Right. I've just been out here. Yeah. Yeah. And it's been really nice. Like, for me and like, you know. Yeah. I got to, like, for me, like, I was making money off of comedy right when the quarantine started. Nice. And that's a lot of stress. Yeah. It's hard to do. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And now that's all shut down. Yeah. And so I needed a break. When the quarantine happened, I'm just like, cool, I have a break. Like, I was just like, I can breathe. Like, work, comedy, the grind. And then after about 3 months, I was like, we missed our cue to like beat this thing. So let's just fucking start living again.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah,
You didn't do any Zoom comedy, or did you?
I did some Zoom comedy.
Okay.
And it was as horrendous as everyone says.
Yeah, it was. But you know what? It sucked. But also, I think for the people that did it, I think it really like kickstarted a lot more networking and connections than what you would have had you not done it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like now I have connections to like different cities that I know I can hit people up and say, hey, what do you got going? So, I mean, it was brutal, but I definitely was happy that I did it and stuck it out.
As I understand it, it's our job wherever there's a crisis to recognize the opportunity in it.
Yeah. Because
there's only going to be like a few narrow paths, and you're like, all right, I got to pick something.
Right. Yeah.
So you got to get out there a little bit, right? And sort of like get in some real bond time with some people.
Oh, for sure.
That. Yeah.
I mean, and like a lot of like big names too that you wouldn't have had the chance. Like you probably would have seen him at a club, but you wouldn't have had that intimate of a conversation or relationship because, we were in a group with like 8 people on Zoom because half the time you wouldn't have an audience. So we'd be performing for each other.
It turns into a hang.
It does.
Yeah.
And it definitely did. I used to do, for Flappers, I would run this Monday night this Monday night show for the writers of Conan. So I got to know a lot of them, which was super cool.
Dude, that's a goal that passed me by.
Oh,
I
really?
wanted to be a writer on Conan so bad. I mean, I've only been doing comedy seriously for like 4 years. So, I mean, there's only so many goals you can accomplish in that time. But,
yeah, of course.
But it's gone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I mean, there's other stuff.
I was gonna say, there's gonna be the next Conan, just like there was the next Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Like Jay Leno passed it along, and I feel that way a lot of times. Like even with like comedians that have passed away, like I feel like it's such a bummer. I'm never gonna get to work with Robin Williams. Like that bums me out so bad. But you got to think like there's gonna be another Robin Williams.
Yeah.
So
and he's younger. He's gonna be younger than you.
yeah, he is. Actually, there is this comic that's out there right now that looks just like a young version of Robin Williams.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. And he does like an impersonation of him and everything. He looks
What's his
like
name?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Robin. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Robin. A man named Robin.
Yeah. His last name is William.
His name is Robert William. Yeah.
Yeah, but I follow him on Instagram. I find his name, but and he's great. He's so funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit! What if that's like reincarnated Robin Williams? Although he's too old to have been like not born since he died. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
But I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I got all kinds of weird understandings of how that works.
Yeah.
But it does seem like it kind of leaks into someone ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like both of the guys in my family that are like me died before I could really get to know them, but they were alive while I was alive. And so like,
oh, okay.
I didn't get to meet someone with this anomaly of personality in my family.
Yeah.
I kind of had to be it by myself.
Yeah.
Which they probably had to be too.
Right.
It
Right.
was just kind of this weird torch that gets passed on. You don't know.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's pretty cool. I mean, not cool that those people died, but
yeah.
kind of cool that you like.
At least one of them was at a nice old age.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But you know who I'm following right now is Moses Storm.
Yeah. Moses Storm is great.
I've been following him since like for a while, and now that I see him more on the LA scene, I've been able to see him live, and I'm just like, dude, he delivered everything I thought he would be live. It's just incredible. Yeah,
he's super great. I've done a few shows with him, but I've also seen him at a few shows, and he's hilarious. He's definitely like the next I don't even who's up there right now.
He's just the next big. I feel like he's going to be a next big thing. Yeah.
It's like the next Taylor Tomlinson
and he's definitely put in the work because I saw him on Conan like years ago.
Yeah. I remember like literally maybe 5 years ago.
At least 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on that. He's super cool. He's got his special coming out on HBO Max.
It came out like a week or two ago.
Oh, it did? It already came out?
Yeah.
I don't know what date
I don't have HBO
anymore.
Max.
Oh,
yeah.
I do.
I was just following him really closely, and he did a thing. I don't have my vax yet.
You don't.
I can't. I couldn't go to the Improv and just like there's this thing at the Improv. It was like you should go watch it.
Because you're Orange County. That's why.
I don't want to get into it. I'm not anti-vax. I just want to make that clear. But I just don't want to get into it.
No.
It's kind of this.
Is it a needle thing?
No, it's just.
Okay.
I mean, I've already caught COVID twice, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I want you to explain to me how the vax is going to make me more immune to COVID than catching it twice.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah. I mean, that's
if you can come up with a reasonable explanation, like I'll listen, like I'll pay attention. But like I'm not just like keen on like, because I will get sick from it.
Yeah.
Is all. If you've caught it before, it's going to make you sick. My girlfriend had it, and she was just like hacking up her lungs for like about a week and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm just not looking forward to that. I also can't afford it. I already took
Oh, wait, the vaccine?
the vaccine.
I didn't get sick when I got it at all. I didn't have any symptoms.
Did
both
you have
shots.
COVID before?
Yep.
Yeah.
I still have had COVID. I had COVID February of 2020.
Yeah.
Then I got vaxxed I was vaxxed by like June or whatever. I had no symptoms for the first shot. Like my arm was a little sore, like everybody said, but people were definitely exaggerating that shit. I was they were like, I couldn't move my arm. I was like,
Those people clearly don't remember having a tetanus shot or
ever
never had one or something.
Or
like that.
did any sort of arm workout ever in their life.
Yeah.
And then I was really nervous for the second shot too, because I didn't want to get sick. Like I knew I was going to not get super sick, but I was like, I don't know. Like I just don't want to get sick and blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, fuck it. I'm going to get it. And I got it. And yeah, I literally had no symptoms. I went out that night. I drank. I was fine.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, I feel like it just depends on you, like to determine that. Cause
I think I may have had it 3 times, but I know that I had it 2 times.
yeah. Yeah.
Because the first time I was just when the quarantine first started, I was basically in situations where you're trying to get COVID. You know, I was taking public transit out to LA, just like surrounded by chuds, you know. And
Yep.
like in crowded rooms and
Yep.
but like yeah, my girlfriend, she just got sick for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I coughed for three weeks is what happened.
Yeah.
I got like sick and I wasn't really like sick, but I just like had this like cough that wouldn't go away for 3 weeks. And that pretty much sounds like COVID.
Yeah.
And they weren't testing people at the time.
Oh, this was so early on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My only thing with the vax thing, because I was hesitant at first too for a few reasons, but one of the main reasons I ended up getting it was because I was like, because a whole argument was, well, you don't know what the long-term effects of the vaccine are. And I was like, well, you don't know the long-term effects of just having COVID.
Having COVID, yeah.
So in my mind, I thought, well, if I get the vaccine, maybe it will just kind of either slow or like reverse whatever that COVID did to my cells. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was trying to be my own doctor, but
You're just trying to make sense out of shit.
I was. And I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? My whole family, my grandpa ended up dying of COVID, which was a huge
that's
push.
awful. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a huge push for my family to get the vaccine.
I had a friend and it sucked because I really only started getting close to her right before she died. She died of COVID. She was a cancer survivor.
Yeah.
And then she died of COVID.
Yeah. Damn.
It's fucking horrible.
That is horrible.
And I know like the worst part of it, which that's already horrible, is the guy who survives her, you know, they were kind of meant for each other.
Yeah.
And so now
that's tough.
He posts like her grave on his story constantly.
Oh, wow.
And he's not even really that kind of guy. He's a really good comic. He's a really good writer as a comic.
Yeah.
And it's just like I just see that he's like doomed to
How old was she?
like 26 at the latest, at the oldest, you know.
Wow, that's a bummer.
Yeah, really, really.
Now,
yeah.
I mean, my thought of the vaccine, especially for immune compromised people, is that if they are to get, because it doesn't prevent you from getting COVID, but obviously it just lessens the symptom severity.
Yeah.
And so for people who are like immune compromised, my idea is like 100% make sure they're vaxxed, because if they catch it, like a friend of mine, her brother has a ton of health issues, but he has mentally disabled and all this.
Yeah.
And he got the vaccine and he got COVID this time around, and she said it was super, super mild. So
Yeah.
like she's thankful.
But this last one was super mild.
It was.
It was a flu, but with some hallmark COVID symptoms. I got the
Totally.
Delta during summer, and that was like some horrible shit.
I never got Delta. I got like the first round of COVID, whatever. They didn't have a cool name for it, but
I was like doing it, but I also like don't want to talk about sore subjects because people are just sick of hearing about it. But I'm just
Totally.
they're really good at coming up with just like the good names, like Delta Force. This ain't no Beta. You would think the second one out would be Beta, but this ain't no like guy waiting on the outskirts trying to fuck your girlfriend. This guy is gonna make a move, you know. Yeah. Or like Omicron, they went right to Omicron. Like, we're not gonna
I don't even know what that means.
go down the letters. These are all Greek alphabet letters.
Oh,
you know? Like,
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, it's like they're throwing a dart at a board and they're like, all right, it landed on O, let's go with Omicron. All right. it.
She's like, Omicron sounds scary. I get scared. I think of Black Widows or something when I hear Omicron.
It does sound. It does.
Yeah.
It does sound. It reminds me of like Transformers. Like they're gonna just take over, and all of a sudden we're like, oh well, that was Omicron.
There was a Lambda strain. Didn't talk about it very much.
A what?
Lambda. There was a Lambda strain.
Oh, Lambda. Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah.
That like came and went.
Yeah.
Really
you know
cool.
why?
Why?
Who's scared of Lambda? Who the fuck? Ooh, Lambda. Oh.
What are you gonna count it in your sleep? I know that's sheep, but
Omicron
whatever.
is out to get you. That sounds like fucking the Decepticons are coming to get you. You know?
It does. Honestly, though, I was so I was like happy because like not happy, but like my whole family got COVID again this year, but we all got Omicron, and we were like, it was so mild that we didn't really know we had COVID.
Yeah.
You know, and like we were hanging out, and some of us tested, and we're like, oh, I guess we have it. But I was like, thank God, it's like this variant is to that point where it is so mild that it's not like, you know what I mean? The numbers aren't shooting up and we're shutting down again. And it's like, oh, maybe now that we are progressing, it'll eventually, you know.
Hopefully, well, okay, so I speak science.
Yeah.
Like, because I was a psych major, and so they just kind of
shit.
drill into you that, like, okay, even though it seems like it's a lot of guesswork, just so you know, like, there's a lot of science to it, and you only want to get what's repeatable.
Yeah.
And, you know, peer review, all that shit.
Right.
So, like, something that mutates this fast, first of all, it was clearly man-made.
Yeah.
Nothing ever mutates this quickly. You know what I mean? Just a few times in a year.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? You know?
Yeah.
And most mutation is what they call deleterious.
Okay.
It kills a thing.
Oh.
So most mutations are horrible for you.
Yeah.
Most mutations are going to be like an extra arm, and nobody's going to fuck you, and you're not going to have kids, and you're Darwined out of the population. Right. You know? Like.
Right.
And like it's very rare that a mutation is helpful to an organism.
Oh, okay.
So the faster something mutates, it could. Nah, I'm just worried about like hopefully Darwin itself out. Hopefully, you know, and
yeah,
and hopefully that's what we're saying. Hopefully it's not just like that strain.
Hopefully, are you saying mutation normally like should get worse, not better?
Usually, a mutation hurts an organism.
Okay, so does it make it weakened then? Is that why? So this is normal for it to be weakening.
Yeah.
Like,
if something mutates, it's like it's bad for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's.
And so you're saying because of this,
once in a while, like okay, something will sprout wings, and that worked.
Right.
But like before that ever happens, it'll sprout wings, and it's just some bones coming out of its back, and then it dies.
Right.
You know,
Right.
It's bad for it.
And you're saying because of how fast it's mutated, like.
That's what if you understand that pattern, then yeah, hopefully, but also. I don't know how nefarious the agenda was behind making this thing. Was it an accident? Was it just something that leaked out of the lab? Or is it actually
like, are they wanting you almost to think it's going to go?
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but if you don't think there are conspiracies, you're asleep.
Right.
You know?
Of course. Yeah.
And so like, I'm not going to pretend like a lot of people do that I know exactly the intention behind this thing, and what happened and why. But I feel like those are the possibilities. Either this thing escaped, accidentally, and hopefully it'll run itself out of the population.
Right.
Or some people have some nefarious. There was some fucking weird like warning last week that like in a few months we could see another strain. I'm like, is that? Like,
how do you know that?
That sounds like an ultimatum. You know, like don't say shit like that. Anyway, that's why I didn't want to get in this.
No. This is so. I love this. This is so interesting to me. And I mean, honestly, I could cut most of it out because. If it's kind of irrelevant, and I feel like I'll shorten for time, but personally, I think that's really cool, and I've never really thought about it like that, and I don't know much about that, but I think I don't consider myself a huge conspiracy theorist, but I definitely believe in some of them. Yeah. But I feel like you always have to look at both sides. You have to look at maybe it did escape and got into the population, go away, but what if it didn't? Like you said, and somebody's working to be like, haha, they're thinking it's going away, and then I'm going to throw another variant in there, you know?
A population control, not population control device in that, like, killing people, but population control device in that, like, okay, we need to, if you think of the concept of, like, managing people by the masses, like what I was saying earlier, nothing makes you hate people more than having to manage them even in a small group.
Right.
I don't think I said that's a conversation I had earlier today. It makes you fucking hate people when you manage people.
Oh yeah.
If you ever dealt with like GMs, like it's hard for them to see you as a person anymore.
Yeah,
they have to manage people all the time.
Right.
And so everyone's lying to them.
Yeah.
You know, and so if just like those small numbers, like 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, billions of people. You don't see those as people. No, not at all.
No. I mean,
so like you just need to get these people to act a certain way, and it's not even like, oh, I need you to buy my shit. It's more like, we just need you to stop doing that.
Right.
Or we need you to do more of this.
Yeah.
And you know what? Those people may not even be smart. They're just kind of in a position of control.
right.
Is the thing. And that's another thing behind conspiracy theories. I think they sort of put people at ease because that means you think someone has a plan.
Right.
And it's really a lot sadder than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always play like devil's advocate with myself though, even with conspiracy theories, because I'll be like, dude, that's crazy. But then what if like, for instance, a lot of them derive from the government. Like, what if the government leaked that to make you think that it's a conspiracy? You know what I mean? Like, my head will go fucking
you get
in
all
circles.
fucking
Yeah. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
and then I'll fucking smoke weed and be like, chill out, chill out, chill out.
Most people do the opposite. They smoke weed and they're like, the government.
No, smoking
Yeah.
weed definitely will make my brain kind of like mellow out for sure. And
Yeah.
kind of be like, all right.
Eating weed does that for me.
Oh, interesting.
I brought
Interesting.
edibles with me if you're
Nice.
interested. Yeah.
Depending on what I can't really fucks with edibles anymore.
Yeah.
Because they
you
fucking
you don't count your milligrams. Do you count your milligrams?
no, but
You got it. So you don't know how many you've even.
but the thing is
Yeah.
I've taken like, okay, so I'll give you a brief history on my edible game. I used back in the day when we didn't have made edibles that you can go purchase. I would make brownies all the time, but I had skunk weed from fucking Ohio that I'd make these brownies, so it was shit. You wouldn't get that high.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine gave me a sugar cookie, and I would take like dime-sized pieces of it, and it was the best edible I've ever had. And then I've had like a few here and there, and I was like, I took like a little tiny bit, but the last one I took, so it was like 2 mini cookies, and I didn't take both of them. I think I took half of one of them. And I was at Disneyland, and I fucking freaked out. I had to my friends were going into have you ever been to Disneyland?
Oh yeah.
Okay, my friends were going into that like tiki bird thing, that by next to that lemon dole whip stand going into.
I haven't been recently.
Oh, okay. Well, this has been there forever, but it's like if you're walking to go toward like Indiana Jones and shit.
Okay. Yeah.
And so they're going into that bird thing, and I'm like freaking out. I was like, I don't think I could go in. And they're like, okay. And I just sat by the fence for 2 hours just staring at these ducks playing in the water, and I was like, never fucking again am I doing edibles at Disneyland.
But you don't know you don't know what was in those. Like, I accidentally acid tripped on some edibles that I made.
Oh, shit.
And I was trying to be a cool older brother, and I gave one to my 15-year-old sister. And so we're just 2 people. I'm just like, yeah, we're gonna get high. I just like, she was like such a cool person. I had always been waiting to be able to hang out with her, and I'm like, I started smoking weed when I was 14. I know she smokes weed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give her an edible. We're gonna have a fun day. We're gonna go watch a movie.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun day.
Yeah.
And we take it, and then like we felt it like right. It's like, oh, you gotta wait an hour. We felt it right away.
Shit.
Like just like getting the body high. And it was like, I feel tingly. You feel tingly? Yeah, I feel okay. That's good. Don't worry, just chill out. Just chill out. She's like, Gino, I'm seeing shit. Do you see shit? I'm like, I'm seeing shit. I'm seeing shit. Yeah, definitely seeing shit. Like, I don't think I've seen this much shit on actual acid, actually. Like,
Wait, did you say you made these though?
yeah, I made them.
So how did you just make them way too potent?
What, yeah, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. This is like, I was like, shit, I think like 19
Oh,
20 or
okay,
something like that.
okay,
And it was
okay.
also my first day of college too, by the way. Community college, but
Okay,
still, I
okay.
got to go to a poli-sci class. And so what happens at the end of a homemade edible trip is your eyes are fighting to close. It's a physical reaction. And I'm just like, I was in a class later that night, like, oh, I can't start snoring. This is the first day. And I can see the guy next to me. It's just like, what's going on with this guy? Like, I'm like struggling to keep my head up. Like, taking deep breaths. Like, what can help me? Coffee? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
But she was like, I was trying to drive around. I'm like, well, we need to get some money. We need to sit in a movie. We need to let this shit wear out.
Yeah.
And then we got to the bank, and then someone I knew personally was there, and I'm like, I can't talk to these people. Anyway, she kept on pulling down the sun visor mirror.
Yeah.
To check if she was a cartoon, and I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're a cartoon. If you're a cartoon, you're a cartoon. We're in the car. Just stop.
Just stop. You fucking cartoon. Just chill out.
I had to leave her alone because I had to
God.
go to college, and she's like, you can leave me alone? I'm like, I have to go to school, and mom's coming, and I can't talk to her. I'm like, I'm gonna give you all the advice. I got her like a big bag of Del Taco, and a Pizza Hut mini pan pizza,
Nice.
and like a fucking giant like liter and a half of water. I'm like, here, I'm gonna leave this in bed next to you. Just go to bed. Just go to sleep. They can't fuck with you if you're in bed. And then like the next day, they're like, my mom was like, so Isabel was asleep when I got here. Already weird. She woke up at 9 o'clock at night. She wouldn't wake up for dinner, but then she ate the rest of the dinner that was in the pot and drank the rest of the apple juice in the fridge and went back to bed. Do you know anything about that? I'm like, I don't know why you ask me these things. What the fuck do I know about why Isabel does what Isabel does? And then the dog found that and ate most of the rest of the pan.
No.
And she forgot how to walk for 2 days. For 2 entire days. The first day she would just melt in the ground, and the second day, like, all 4 of her legs wouldn't go in the same direction at the same speed at the same time.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And now I'm just like, hey, count your milligrams.
Yeah. That's so smart.
I take 5, and it's great. You know?
5 milligrams or
5 milligrams, THC to CBD.
I think what it is too is it's something about the body high for me.
Yeah.
It freaks me out more for some reason because I have anxiety. I have to like take Zoloft and shit for it. So I'm like, the body high is like, if I can't control them, like I know when I smoke, if I fucking pound water and I eat, like I know I'm gonna like it's gonna wear down. But like I haven't taken edibles enough to know that that's what happens.
I'll leave you with a 5 milligram tablet, and then you're gonna be like, Gino, that didn't do shit for me.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Because I feel like just this tiny. For me, that's my whole day because I've always had a low tolerance.
Oh.
No matter how much I've smoked, I've always had a low tolerance.
I smoke all day.
Yeah.
Like I literally, my cousin is he probably already smoked, but like I'll go smoke. It's usually every 2 hours we'll smoke.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like my tolerance is relatively high, but for some reason with edibles, it just is like, I get crazy. Yeah. I get real crazy.
It's my whole day. And I get all out because the CBD makes me optimistic.
Yeah.
And I get like great writing ideas.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like edibles, like the high off edibles is a little bit more like you are energetic in a way where you do get shit done. Yeah. You know? And I do like CBD, but I like smoking it and I do like it in edibles. But when I've taken like the drops, you know, under your tongue. Yeah. The first time I did that, I had the most gnarly dreams that I could ever imagine.
Yeah. In a good way or not?
Not really in a good way or a bad way.
Yeah.
They were just insane. Yeah. And I was like, this is crazy. And I was like I had a dream that I had mange. My body, my whole body was covered in mange.
Were you a dog or you're you?
Nope, I was a human and I just had mange all over my body.
You were mangy.
I was mangy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was so weird. Dream. And it was like hella lucid, but like I wasn't freaking out in the dream. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh wow, I have to get this treated. You know, like it was so weird, but it was so real. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm never taking it before I go to bed again. That was so weird.
I won't go to bed soon after I take an edible.
No.
Because I'll get a hangover.
Oh, really?
It dehydrates me. I need to drink a shit ton of water when I take them.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. I didn't think about that either.
But also, like, I don't want to miss out on my high, too.
Yeah.
I do it, like, once a week, maybe. You know, like,
yeah.
I'm like, all right, I got to wait till next week to have a good one, you know?
To have a good one. I'm like, I have to wait until 10 minutes.
2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours. All right, let's get into some segments here.
Okay, yeah.
Bartender, I need a drink.
That's my bartender.
That sounded like the real fucking thing.
You're like, how did I take acid again?
Because there was it's on the surround sound, so I was only hearing it on the left. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. All right, so what are we drinking? What's your drink after work or after a crazy shift? What do you go with?
My drink generally just anywhere is just a double Irish whiskey with just a touch of ginger beer.
Interesting.
And it's actually hard to order, so I'll usually just settle for Jameson on the rocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. One of the last guys I had on the show also liked the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And you're Italian, not Irish, right?
Okay. So I hate talking about my ethnicity because, okay, so my name is clearly Italian. My name is Gino Riccardi. It couldn't be more Italian if my name was pasta spaghetti, you know? But my parents are Ecuadorian. Oh. But nobody's Ecuadorian, just like nobody's United Statesian.
Right, right.
they're all Euros. They
Yeah.
came and they're like, I hate everybody who already lives here. So let's not mix with them. You know?
Okay, I see. All right, so that makes sense. That and then that you like. I am a little bit Irish, and I would much rather take a bourbon over an Irish whiskey. Like I'm not a fan. I've drank way too much Jameson in my day to like crave it. You
For
know?
me, bourbon tastes like hot knives.
Oh, interesting.
And I only got that like because during the quarantine I was putting on shows, and so we were doing it tandem to a bar because he needed to.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any alcohol, and I'm like, dude, just buy whatever you're out of. Like if you
Right.
sell it, buy it. It's not spending money. It's an investment. You're gonna make it back.
Right.
And so they just had like 3 alcohols, and one of them was like some shitty bourbon.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And like, I'm just like, this is a whole different. That's when I just like, this tastes like hot knives. Like, I thought I could just do any whiskey, but I'm like, this is
It was probably a rye.
whole different taste. No, it was Kentucky straight.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Kentucky straight? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like, I like all bourbons, and I love a rye. I like them on the rocks, but...
I like a rye.
Yeah.
I had some rye last night.
No, did you? Nice.
Yeah, we did an end of the shift shot.
Oh, nice.
Because
nice.
the fucking manager was trying to get laid. There was this chick who's working her shit. She's got her titties on the bar.
Nice.
She's got them rested on there, and she's like, "This is gonna buy us some time. I know what I'm doing." And because of that, like 10 people got to hang out after hours. And
I love that.
This guy's just like trying to roast I need to impress these titties. I mean, this woman.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like, and she's just like, I'm not having it. You're giving out beta vibes. And like,
Really? Oh, man. That's the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah.
That's so funny,
it is
though.
and he got so mad too. He started roasting her and shit. He's like, she looked like Hatchet Face from I don't even know what movie. It was like a 1980s movie. Or
Yeah.
something.
I've heard of Hatchet Face.
But I'm like, oh yeah, have you? I'm
Yeah.
like, you wanted to fuck Hatchet Face. Shut the fuck. But he's like, so this guy, the security guard ordered. He's like, what do you want? And the thing is, his grandma died yesterday, and he was kind of telling everybody. I'm just like, the bands are pretty good. He's like, my mind's not on it. My grandma died today. I'm like, I'm sorry, but also because he's like in his 50s. I'm all, you're really lucky to have a grandma still.
Whoa,
Honestly.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Like my grandma died like in my early 20s. you
Yeah.
know, like, but and so him, like they did the toast to his grandma, and he's like, I'll have a Jack Daniels, and he's like, you are not having a Jack Daniels in this bar. That's low class. We're
Yeah.
gonna introduce you to some good whiskey. I'm like, give him some rye, and I'll take some for me too. Like, I'm like, how'd you like it? Was it good? And he's like, I felt it.
Yeah, yeah. I can't take shots of whiskey. I can take shots of tequila, but I don't like to take shots of whiskey.
Yeah.
Unless it's shitty Fireball, which isn't even considered whiskey. It's like a malt beverage.
You better drink a lot of water after that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But I don't take them often. Like if I'm in the mood for a shot, I'm like, I just, I drank too young, too early, too much.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of us did. Yeah.
I had a little trick I used to do when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And you used to just drink pop-off out of a bottle and take the little fucking stopper out, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
the,
yeah.
like, hey, try not to kill yourself with this thing stopper, you know? And I just, whatever bottle it was, I would just chug it in the middle of a room at a party until somebody said, oh my God. And that's all I was waiting for. Because my brother taught me this trick. He's like, I don't let my tongue get in the way. I just chug it. And I'm like, ooh, I could do that.
Dude, listen, that's
Yeah.
I've been told like 8 different times on how to take the right shot, and I've done it, and it's so true.
Yeah.
But you forget that shit 2 seconds after, and then you're around another group of people, and you're like, and I have the worst shot face. Like I'll take it, and I'll have to sit there for like 3 minutes and not throw up, and like have to just continually swallow. And my friends will just laugh at me, and they're like, Heather took another shot, and I'm like, give me 2 seconds, please. Give me.
He's taking those deep breaths.
Yeah, I'm just like fighting it down, like, and they're like, "Are you gonna puke?" And I'm like, "Nope, don't think so."
I love don't think so. It's
I
not,
don't.
not a guarantee. Yeah.
I'm always like, and then I'm like, okay, and then after it starts to subside, I'm like, but by that time they're like, "We want to do another shot," and I'm like, "Do you guys seriously want me to go through that again?"
Well, you guys are being mean.
Yeah. This is torture, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's oh my God, dude. I don't really drink that much anymore though.
I used to think I didn't have a bad shot face, and then like I was just at a bar, took a shot, and then the bartender handed me a back. just me, not everybody. Like she's all here. I saw that face, and I'm like, I enjoyed it. I liked it. She's like, that.
Yeah, that's my good face. I loved it. Oh my God. Like I love a good pickleback. Like that's the best chaser I think for taking shots because that acidity just fucking zaps it away.
Yeah.
And I love it. I'm like, oh yeah, I can take shots on
I
that.
love the ginger beer. I think it goes so perfectly together.
Yeah, it does. But it's kind of harsh to use as a chaser because you're trying to chug it,
Yeah.
And it's like that. It's like fucking. It feels like it's eating the side of your mouth.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm very charming. And
I do. I think I know that. I think you know.
good. Okay. Good. Okay. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to let you know.
I love people that say that. They're like, I am charming. You're like, you are.
Sure. Yeah. Your voice goes up. Yeah.
Yeah. You're really charming.
So now that I would say I'm good at my job, like I'm pretty good at circumventing that. But I used to suck at it, right? And so like most people, I just got in a place that was desperate to hire people.
Yeah.
And that place sucked, and I sucked at it.
Yeah.
And I've always been very weary of people who like me too much off the bat.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're gonna hate me like soon. Like I'm gonna do something. Yeah.
I
don't know, this guy, like, and they love the name Gino. And
of course.
This guy, I grew up in Huntington Beach, so I recognize a meth addict when I see him. This guy, I could just tell this guy, he's on his best behavior. He's out with his girl. They think this is a fine dining restaurant. It's not. And
wait, is this when you're at BJ's too?
This is a spaghetti factory, old spaghetti factory. Old Spaghetti Factory is a horrible boot camp for anyone who's never waited tables. And
that's hilarious.
I was specifically bad at it.
Yeah.
Out of everybody else.
Yeah. That was the one restaurant when I went to college for 1 year.
Yeah.
That we could go off campus and use our student cards at.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're desperate for
business, I'm sure.
People just want to eat in the trolley. Everyone just wants to eat in the trolley. Get the Spumoni ice cream. Where's the Spumoni? Get the Spumoni. Yeah. And this guy, and this guy had been to prison. I could see it in him.
Yeah.
You could see it in him. They got that stature, like they're always on guard, but
Yeah.
he's having a good night, and they're like, Gino, and I'm just like, this guy likes me too much. And then I was actually doing well with that table.
Yeah.
And I was, because I need to pay attention to that table,
Yeah.
And then I was just taking along with the bill, because I was kind of like really worried about that guy and sort of like making everyone else wait.
Yeah.
Just like, so now I got to catch up with everybody else.
Right.
And he comes up to the kitchen and he's like, Gino, what the fuck is taking so long? And I'm like, who told that motherfucker my name? I just created a hole in the plot. Who told that motherfucker my name? Because I just remember that detail, but I just remember that he was real nice to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who told that motherfucker my name? And I come out and I'm like schlepping food, and he's just like, God damn it, Gino. And I'm just like, I turned around and I'm like, look, I don't make enough money here. I don't get paid enough to deal with your fucking shit, all right? So get the fuck out of here. And then she's just like, oh, we're never coming back again. I'm like, is that a fucking promise? And I'm like, the adrenaline's running, and I'm like, I think I'm going to have to fight this guy.
Yeah.
I really thought it was, and then like the chick was like trying to be like the good girlfriend, but you're dating a psycho. You're a psycho. You're dating a psycho.
Right.
You don't like, I don't know how I ended up in this situation with this fucking psycho. Like, no, you love psychos. He looks like a pianist. You knew what you were getting into.
Yeah.
And like, first she's trying to be on my side, but she sees that I'm not going to be nice about this, and I'm going to be, and I will fight you.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to go out of this job, I'm going to go out with a fucking bang.
That's right.
And then now she's yelling at me, and I'm just, get the fuck out, you fucking crazy. I don't know what the fuck I said, because I went into this blackout mode.
Totally.
And so he's gone, and I'm stuck there with my adrenaline trying to schlep food, and I'm like, the fettuccine. What the chicken fettuccine? And like nobody wants to answer me. What the chicken fettuccine? Somebody had it. And like the busser comes up, and like I didn't know that like at the bus station, or the bus at the host station, they were having like a silent, like a group of like slow clap for me. They're like, thank you. I hate everybody who comes in here, and I've been waiting to see that the whole time I worked here, which can never be more than nobody works there more than a year. Or something.
Really? Oh,
I think so. Yeah, but
I never worked there, but I've eaten there as a college student.
As a college student.
Yeah. Like one time too, I think.
So I had to have somebody else give out the food for me, because my entire section was afraid of me after that. Don't look at this guy and your fucking attitude, right?
You just made like $1,000. They just left you hundreds. They're like, please,
just
God,
take it all.
Don't let him yell at us.
Forget my face. And like, I thought I was gonna get fired, and the next week I came back, and everyone's like, "Dude, you're a hero now. Just so you know." Like,
really?
Like, they're like, yeah, dude, that guy was fucking crazy. And
Yeah.
I hate everybody who comes in this place. It's just so nice to see that. And then I got fired like 2 weeks later off of something else that was really stupid. Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you got fired from a serving job?
Yes.
Yeah.
From a serving job, yes. Quitting jobs is a new thing for me.
Well, quitting's different than getting fired. I've started quitting jobs that don't suit my needs anymore, but that's only because I've been in the industry for so long.
That's a nice feeling, right?
It is a
You're
nice
like,
feeling.
this doesn't suit my needs.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something else.
Yeah.
That's good for me.
Yeah. I mean, like, as a comedian, I have to have a serving job because I have to have something to survive off of, right?
Yeah.
But I've just worked at, like, BJ's was the worst of the worst to work at. Yours probably not as bad because you were the one corporate, like, you were corporate home base.
Yeah, corporate home base. I'm surprised you know that because I didn't even know that for like a few years.
Of course I knew. I was a brew genius. I was a green
Oh, were you?
apron. I
Oh,
was a
shit.
brew genius.
You had the apron?
I had the green apron. I was way too involved.
Yeah. Were you a trainer? Did you used to go abroad and train?
I was a
and shit?
trainer.
Yeah.
I was, I didn't open stores, but I was offered to.
Yeah.
But by that time, I was over that place, and I was like, you don't want me to.
Yeah.
They literally, I worked at the Burbank one, which is like hell.
Yeah.
The restaurant itself is way too big for the kitchen. So we would have on average 45 to an hour ticket times on average.
Damn.
Yeah. It was torture. The worst place.
That was because the kitchen was bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
The kitchen sucked.
The kitchen sucked, but it was also not really their fault because the kitchen was like, the kitchen essentially, if the restaurant was full, could put out our full restaurant was probably, how do I explain this right? It's like 2/3 too much. I don't know how, like, there's
You mean,
capacity.
okay, so the restaurant was too big for the kitchen.
Yeah, of course. It was like our capacity was like, I don't know, we could fit like 500 total maybe.
Yeah.
When we should have been only serving 250.
So the kitchen was tiny.
It was,
And maybe cramped.
it was just too tiny for how many tables they had.
Yeah.
And it was just, oh my God, dude, I had so many crazy things happen at that place.
I've like the past few years, like working like the last couple of places I did, like I've really woken up to like what good management is. I'm just dude, this will never be good. This is shitty management.
Yeah.
And I just like point out a business and I'm like, you're not going to be here next year.
Yeah.
And I almost want to tell I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And I know you're blaming your employees.
Yeah.
They have no control over this.
No.
You're fucking up.
Yeah.
There's no way. And I'll say it out loud. I'm like, oh, you're here by yourself during the rush?
Right.
That's shitty management.
Yeah.
And I'll just say it. I'm like, I know you guys got your fucking listening devices because they have it at my place.
Yeah.
You know? So just know that people here are recognizing this person shouldn't be here alone. This place is yours to lose. It's a great concept.
Yeah.
And you're fucking up.
And our kitchen staff was so high on coke and drunk that they just did not give a fuck ever.
Burbank? Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. They would go out in the middle of the rush and just do lines out of somebody's trunk and then come back and just be so fucking... One dude, I remember this one time, one dude cut himself and was bleeding all over his station and they didn't stop him to clean it up. They just let him keep cooking.
Goodness.
It was disgusting.
That's gross.
Yeah, I was so fed up. I hated that place so much. 5 years. Was
I definitely worked at a good beach.
Yeah, you did. You worked at probably the only. Well, no, I'm sure a few of them are good, but mine was like the worst of the worst.
It sucked because everyone there, you know how everyone gets these like bonding relationships at a restaurant because it's that kind of environment, you know? And I was just like, I'm sorry, this is like my third time falling in love. So
yeah, that's kind of how I am at my restaurant now. All the people that I work with are so nice. They're so nice. They're super cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I just don't have the effort to put in anymore.
You
like
already had those deep feelings.
I already
for the
have those
staff
deep
or
feelings.
whatever.
Yeah. And like, I still talk to most of them and like we still have that, but it's like to go through this again with a whole new staff, especially my restaurant, because that staff has been there for 5 years together.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like coming in and they're cool, but I'm just like, they're like, come out with us. And I'm like, maybe find me when I get that one spark where I'm like, all right, not now.
So when I was working at BJ's after like a couple of years, because I know you have to hang out because if you're absent, then the opposite will happen. People don't like you.
Yeah.
And you don't need that.
Yeah.
But I would, once I like made some good friends, I would tell them, I'm like, look, I know you guys don't know me, but I've lived out a lot of fantasies. Don't call me out unless it's going to be epic. And they're like, you're being a dick. And I'm like, don't call me unless it's going to be, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just a night out. I could do that any fucking night.
Yeah.
I need to do, because I was writing a book at the time. I need to go home and write my book.
Yeah.
Because nobody gives a shit if I write my book. I give a shit.
Right.
It's not going to make a difference in anyone's life if this thing doesn't ever get written.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. I agree. And I think I like I'm the same way where these days, like, I'd rather come home and write or work on this podcast or do this or that than go out and drink. So like you're correct. Like if it's not going to be a rager or a crazy, I'm good.
If it's not going to be a lifelong, memory.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get too deep too fast with people sometimes.
No,
Yeah. That's why I talk myself out of getting laid. So
I talk myself out of getting laid.
Like someone's just like, you want to fuck? And I'm like,
what is fucking
let's
anymore?
talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
I don't like to fuck, I make love. Do you want to talk about that?
What are you into? Getting the fuck out of here.
They're like, oh, okay. All right, I guess. Bye.
Yeah. So now I'm kind of new to like great tips.
Okay.
I don't want to jinx it, but okay. Okay, so there was this Korean guy.
Okay.
Like Korean, you
Yeah.
know, like not of Korean descent. You know, he's from Korea.
Yeah.
And this is how I learned that Korean hookers don't have sex with you. He was just a guy, and I heard someone describe it perfectly during a set like a couple days ago. Where they're just like, Korean guys, like they all wear a tie and a suit, and you only know how fucked up they are by how far that tie knot is away from their neck. And this guy could fucking hang, you know? He was small. And I'm pretty sure he was just closeted gay, because he had this line that he would spit out as soon as he had a few in him, you know? And he was like, I'm not a gay, which already I'm like, you're gay.
Yeah.
But you make me wish I was gay. You're a very handsome man. And he started saying that to like every guy. And like one dude was just like, no, I'm an ugly man. Okay, nobody thinks I'm attractive. I look like I'm old. No.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I'm not. I'm burly and gross.
Be like, I'm not. No, don't look at me that way.
And then he's I remember they were trying to drink him under the table. You know, I'm trying to pass him out. I'm all, you're not going to accomplish your goal.
Yeah.
You don't understand how much this guy drinks.
Yeah.
I don't know where he puts it, but this guy can drink all of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And just and so at the end of the night when I was dealing with him, sometimes he would just leave like $200 or $300 up there.
Wow.
On the bar.
Nice.
And
that
those
is definitely worth a. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
And I had heard of those $200-$300 tips before, and I was just like, okay, be nice to this guy.
Yeah. Whatever he wants.
But he liked me so much. Like when he would come back to visit, he would just give me a hug.
Yeah.
You know, it was always the hug.
Yep.
And like the new people are like, you get hugs? And I'm like, I don't know if you know this about me. I'm charming. But I make people wish they were gay.
Yeah. That's fucking funny. That's wow. That's a pretty cool tip. I've gotten that before as well. Not like multiple times, but a few times. And it's like, man, my job now, people are pretty generous. I get pretty decent tips at my job now where it's like, all right, I'll take that. I will thank you.
Yeah, and you don't know, at first you don't know how to react, but then you're like, okay, I guess this is kind of normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, am I getting all 20%? This is insane.
Yeah.
Dining out tip of the week.
Do you have a tip for people who go out to restaurants that they could do that would make like their life and the server or bartender's life easier?
Don't talk over each other while you're ordering.
That's a good one.
The server will not remember any of what you said.
That's a good one.
There's a point where I'm ordering and if it gets corrected, because my girlfriend is just like changes her mind.
Yeah.
And I have to speak over her to be assertive. And it's just like, no, this is what we're ordering. And she's like, why'd you do that? And I'm like, because you're going to be very lucky. Just watch what comes out. I'm interested to know.
Yeah.
What's going to come out right now.
I'm interested to know.
She's like, you don't think it's going to? I'm like, how? Do you think you would understand what you just said? I wouldn't understand. You just changed your mind 3 times in the course of a sentence. There's no way. I just want to see what comes out.
The server's over there just sweating, like, they said they wanted this and then they didn't want this. So what am I going to put in?
Okay, there was cheese and then no cheese and then extra cheese and then Do they want cheese or don't they? Do the cheese on the side? Just give them a lot of cheese on the side. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
But I know that I think about it more than other people, and other people are like, fuck these people.
Yeah. I do the same. Like if I take an order and I'm a little confused and you've asked already like 3 times, like, wait, what did you say? Or like, what did you mean?
Yeah.
You go back to and it's always like, whatever, like if you couldn't figure out what their side was or whatever, right? Yeah. You're just like, fuck it. Put in what you thought it was. Worst case, you can get them that other side. You know what I mean? And I've definitely, because people like that, for instance, when I was talking about, did I do the story about the woman with the pizza earlier?
Yeah.
How she was like, they weren't even talking over each other. She legit just didn't order that pizza.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, that would maybe be my tip to like, make sure you're saying what you mean. Don't just ask about something and insinuate that that's what you want to order.
Yeah.
You have to say, well, I want one of these. Not just like, what does this have on it? Oh, okay. That's not an order.
Yeah, we talked about the pizza.
Yeah.
We discussed it.
Yeah, that's literally what she said. I remember the conversation verbatim. She goes, is the kids' pizza the same size as the regular pizzas? Yes. Okay. How is the chicken sausage pizza? It's good. Okay, we'll take that one.
Yeah, we'll do that one.
In that order, did you order a kid's pizza? No, you did not. No,
you thought about it. You thought about it so loud that you thought you did. Keep it simple is the main, like, don't have high aspirations.
Yeah.
This is like, you don't get this job because of your years at MIT. You know, like, this is an entry level position and you aspire to just to please people better so they give you more money.
Exactly.
And you don't know which one you're getting until the end of it. Right. That's why, this weird thing is like tipping people before you get your service. And it usually sucks.
I fucking hate that
and
shit.
I'm trying to I'm like, okay, I want you to like me.
Yeah.
And they're like, we still suck.
Yeah. And you initially, and the thing is like you see them put out like, I don't know, let's just even say a $20 bill. And you're like, well, how do you already know that you're only going to order $100 worth of shit? How do you know that? Like, what if you order $120, $150 worth of shit? Do I get to, you add money to that? So-called, this is what you know what I mean? Like, that's so gross. It's like, don't come out like, I'm not part of your sick game where you're like, all right, monkey, let's see if you do the right stuff, you know? Yeah. Like, fuck you. Like, tip me based off of how the entire situation goes. Yeah. And you can have that idea in your mind if you want to. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. But don't fucking lay it on the table.
Will they show you the money? And they're like, when someone does that, someone's done that before, and they're like, okay, so we're going to see how much you pour me. And we're going to start at $1. Oh. And I'm just like, I'm not feeling very lucky today. Yeah. Fucking get your drink and get the fuck away from me.
That's my favorite when people think, oh, can you make my drink strong? No, I can't. Legally, I can only give you this much in your drink. Yeah. Legally. Now, if you're a regular at a bar and the bartender hooks you up, good for you. Yeah. Don't say anything, but good for you.
Also, I found that doing nice shit for people doesn't pay off. No. You have to make them earn it. Yes. As guests. Yeah. And only then will they show you the love. Yeah. They can't, otherwise they just think you're a pushover. Oh, this guy's a pussy. Yeah. And he does this for everybody. Yep. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, you got to make them, because they want you to like them, like I said, you know. Yeah, of course. You're 100% right. They do. And I tend to do that. Like, I'll go above and beyond for a table that I think, ooh, if I do this, they might tip me more, and then they don't. And I go, God damn it. Yeah. You know, what did I waste that for? Yeah. Or like as comedians, like I'll have so much fun with a table. Like, we'll be vibing. I'll be making them laugh. I'm like, you guys don't get it. Normally people pay for that. And then they come back and don't tip me even 20%. I'm like, I'll stab you in the face. The verbal tip. Like, you did such a great job. We loved you. Like, show me. Yeah. Show me. Yeah. My favorite are the tips that are written, Jesus loves you. Not very much. Yeah. Does he love me 20%? Because I'm hoping that's how much he loves me. Yeah. Yeah, those are my favorite. But like on the ordering tips, like the stuff that I like for me is simple but complicated to say, and I know it's too many syllables to come out of my mouth. Right. And I will, like I said, like I'll order a Jameson on the rocks, even though what I want is actually a Jameson with a splash of soda and a splash of bitters. Yeah. But I know that's too many splashes to say out loud. Yeah. So I'm just like Jameson rocks or Jameson soda. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah, you're right. I do mine like I usually go with like a bullet bullet on the rock splash of soda. Yeah. I don't usually fuck it up that much, but even that, like, people will fuck up. Yeah. I'm like, it's so easy. They're like, you mean you want all the soda? Yeah. No, I want a splash of soda. Splash. It's like a suggestion. It's like a gesture. Yeah.
It's almost like you hit the button, nothing comes out. You're like, perfect. That's what I wanted.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly it. I know. People are this world, folks. This world. Okay, we're getting down to the end of the show today. We're coming up to my last and probably one of my favorite segments. Yelp, review, break. Yes, it is the Yelp review breakdown. So I pick a Yelp review from a restaurant that you've worked at. Just so happens I also worked at this restaurant. And I go with a negative reviewed review, and we read it and we discuss whether we think the customer is psycho or if the restaurant was psycho.
Yeah, because both happen.
They do. And I also I go for ones that are like novel, just because it's the most entertaining.
Do you search Reddit for Yelp reviews?
No, I'd go just right to Yelp. Yeah. Although maybe I should search it. I was thinking I should have some of these ready to go, but I like to go off of a restaurant that my guest has worked at.
Yeah.
So that they can tell me well, that's not how that goes, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than just a random one, because it's I don't know how that restaurant works. I can't say that they did or didn't do that.
Yeah.
So this one is coming from BJ's. I know, surprise. It was the easiest one to get negative reviews on. And it's actually coming from my location, because I knew your location probably barely has any negative reviews.
I'm sure they have some, but yeah.
But mine is notorious for getting the worst.
Okay.
We're only a 3-star BJ's.
The way you... Oh, God.
Yeah.
3 stars is...
Yeah.
It can only survive because it is a BJ's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and read this review. It's by Angie R. out of Roseville, California. She has reviewed 52 places. She has 17 pictures, so she is a professional Yelp reviewer. That is for sure. And I've noticed most of the ones that make a novel post are they're either looking for something out of it, or they're this is what I do with my day,
Yeah.
Do you remember, and I'm just oh my God.
When I used to suck at my job, I used to get
bad reviews,
2-page emails to the general manager.
Oh my God.
Like these essays. And I'm like, okay, I get that you were pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a night out. You went home.
Yeah.
Articulated this essay, made sure not to have the misspells and all the commas in the right place.
I've definitely searched my name at all my jobs, and I have good reviews. No big deal. I'm not trying to brag, but I also looked at my own Yelp page for what I reviewed, and I make fun of these people, but I've reviewed some places bad, but I've also only done that because they were really, really bad.
Yeah.
I've had a place where I got blatantly ignored, stuff like that, where I'm this is why Yelp is there for these stories, and maybe if you had a great experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so this new review is going to come from Kyle D. from Los Angeles, California. He's done 14 reviews. And he's updated this review, mind you. So he went back in.
BJ's is big on fixing shit. But this is your location. This is
my location. My location also responded. Oh, wait. Okay, interesting. So he reviewed it back in 2013 and reviewed it 5 stars. And then this is his newest review coming out June of 2021.
Okay.
He rated it 1 star. And
Damn, from 5 to 1.
Yeah, 5 to 1.
Yeah. Also, you say it was a horrible location. He gave it 5 stars.
At one point, which is shocking.
Yeah.
And I worked there in 2013.
It's a 3-star location.
It's a 3-star. Okay. So this one starts out, not their best service this time around. I frequented this BJ's pretty regularly before the pandemic. Not their best service this time around. I frequented this BJ's pretty regularly before the pandemic. Last night was my first dine-in visit in over a year. Unfortunately, it was a disaster from the get-go. Well, of course, it's the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
First issue was the check-in. I'm not entirely sure what went wrong, but I gave the hostess my phone number / name for the wait list, and after she confirmed it with me, I went outside to wait the approximate 25 minutes it would take for a table. Normally, after checking in, you get a text to let you know that you're in the queue, but it never came. Neither did the text saying my table was prepared. For perspective, I arrived just after 9 p.m., so at 9:45 it had been a while, and I decided it would be wise to go check in again to make sure everything was going okay. I spoke to the hostess to make sure we're still set, and it turned out that either she or the system that she was using put the wrong prefix on my number, so no texts were actually sent to my phone, even though they were indeed sent out. She scrambled to get a table set for my fiance and I. I figured that was the end of the issues. Turns out it was just the beginning. This guy's a novelist.
Yeah.
We walked to the side of the bar and sat at this small marble table. First things we noticed were giant sanitizer bottles, other cleaner supplies, and the unmistakable smell of old beer. Basically, we got stuck in a storage area between the outside patio door and the bar. What? Where? They said they went into the
unmistakable smell of old beer. It's a brewery.
We walked to the side of the bar and sat at this. Oh, so they're in cocktail. They're in the cocktail area.
They're in the cocktail
area.
Okay, that's where you could get a fast seat.
Yeah.
They're at the bar top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think at this point they were seated. It was no self-seating. You had to be sat regardless. So they got sat at a cocktail. So they think they got stuck in a storage area between the outside patio door and the bar.
Storage area?
No, it's just that they probably have to have those sanitizer bottles out and cleaner supplies for fucking COVID. Like, duh.
Yeah.
You had to have that shit everywhere. You had to sanitize. You have to still sanitize everything as somebody gets up.
Yeah.
Well, you already suck. We choose.
As the smell of old beer got me because I'm like, he is a novelist.
Yeah,
this person, he's painting a picture.
He is.
This is where we are. This is the sounds, the smells, the tastes.
Yeah. The air was just 3 degrees too cool. It made
The
it
emotions.
Yeah.
We were having a good night, though there was the lurking issue of where to see people at the wedding.
Where to see people at the wedding. Okay, let's see. We choose our beverages: Pepsi and a black cherry soda, and order our appetizer. The bartender turns away and goes to put in our initial selections. This person is too sophisticated to be eating at a BJ's, honestly, is what it is.
I don't need this much detail.
No, I don't.
He turned away.
It's very wordy.
Thusly.
He did shoot back a brisk shot and winked, and gave me the idea. Our selections are going to indeed be put in.
I guarantee this guy likes 19th century American literature.
He probably does.
They say words like not distrusting. You mean trusting? You mean trusting.
Not even 30 seconds later, a server shows up to take our appetizer drink order. We let him know that the bartender had already helped us, but requested a new table due to the beer smell. We moved around to the front of the bar. Turned out the smell was due to the trash bins they use for the empty cans being about 5 feet from where my fiance was sitting. What? Our sodas come not long after. My Pepsi was flat, but the other drink was fine. Of course, Pepsi always tastes flat.
Yeah.
You know? That's why Coke's better.
I'm a Pepsi man myself.
Oh, you are?
Not anymore. I'm a water person now.
I mean, I'm not a big soda drinker.
But when I used to do drugs, it was Pepsi.
Really?
Yeah.
Pepsi, huh? I was always a Coke girl myself. Yeah. Always. Forever. Our sodas. Okay, yeah. We order a pizza and wait. Okay.
Yeah.
I assumed you ordered the pizza and ate, but I guess you're going to wait.
So where's the pizza? And where is that now? It's going to be a minute.
Yeah.
1 minute?
1 minute. We will wait. As we look around, we started noticing some troubling signs.
Troubling? Yeah.
Oh, this is my favorite when people who clearly this guy's never worked in a restaurant and he's like, yeah, I'm going to put in my evaluations. Looks a little nuts around here.
Yep.
People running orders from the kitchen were constantly going to the wrong tables. Nobody knew what anyone else was doing or who ordered what. And for whatever reason, everyone was taking orders down on cardboard coasters. Well, yeah, they're writing the fucking order down.
No, this sounds like there was some major malfunction in the location.
Well, the computers could have went down.
The computers
Sure.
were fucking up.
They totally could have. That happens all the time. It's technology.
We've had a crash before, and we had what they call crash kits.
Yeah.
Like, crash kit?
Yeah.
And then you got to do it like 1980s style with a fucking I don't even know what that thing is called.
It's a credit card swiper. That's
a credit card swiper,
Yeah.
but to say credit card swiper to someone who's never experienced this
That's
thing
true.
before isn't enough. It's
Yeah.
like a credit card stamper.
It does. It takes
Or
like an indentation of your card number.
impression.
An impression. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to have the customer fill out, like you have to fill out the tax, the total. You have
All of that,
You have to
yeah.
have them like, the most awkward part is that you have to sit there and wait for them to write in the tip before they can leave, because you have to then add it up and then have them sign.
And they're done in triplicate,
Yeah.
which is a word that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're a fucking nightmare. But again, they're not anybody's fault. Just technology doesn't work sometimes, and that's
Yeah.
what happens.
On cardboard coasters, though, that's yeah.
That could be anybody. I used to write my orders down on those.
What I think of is like the managers would be like, "Please don't write your orders on the cardboard coasters. They cost money."
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, no, we're using the good paper. We're using the cardboard coasters.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
We're good. Nobody gets the fucking Jeremiah Red anyway. No, they do. That one was the best.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's writing down their orders on cardboard cards. That's so funny. You could tell the waitstaff knew it was all going sideways. Some were visibly frustrated. Let me just tell you right now, I was always visibly frustrated when I was working. So
Visibly,
this could have just been a regular night, and this person just was a little too observant, because had I been there this day, I used to fucking rage hard at BJ's because I get so mad.
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
Me, I would be the guy smiling while there's a fist fight going on behind me. An air of calm.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine. They're just talking
They're
it
just
out.
getting a little crazy. It's
talking
fine.
it out.
It's
fine.
fine.
Everything.
Fine.
There's a fire behind you. We have some people on it.
Is there?
We have some people on it. Not to worry. You
Yeah.
know what? I'm just going to go outside next to the sprinkler system. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
I'll be back. It's fine. Everything's fine. Sir, it's gone. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
That's cool.
So about 25 minutes goes by and the pizza comes. Wow, that's pretty good timing.
Because he's complaining. You're like, 25 minutes?
I was like, that's
Because you were
actually
saying
good.
there's like a 45-minute
On
regular
average.
ticket time. Yeah.
On average. It was
and there's
insane.
no rush on those pizzas. They're on a conveyor belt.
Oh, yeah. They have to take 8 minutes
Yeah.
to pass through the conveyor, but they have to.
Just so anybody listening knows, you can't order a pizza at BJ's without sauce, but you can call it in a day in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You definitely can.
That's just a fun little. It's just to give you just some nuance of like how the kitchen works there.
Yeah, they prep them. Very, very early.
Yeah.
Okay. The lady that delivered it looked like she had been through the entire restaurant looking for us. She walked past us initially until I made eye contact with her. She sat the pizza on the bar because the table was too small for anything but a few glasses. They're not that small. You could fit the pizza.
Yeah,
and I'm guessing that nobody set up a pizza stand. That's
No
probably
stand.
why.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
This is where I had it with the whole experience. Okay, I'm going to pause right there really quickly. From what you described in the giant paragraph you wrote before this, none of that is bad at all.
Yeah.
Like none of that.
People seem discombobulated. What it sounds like to me, the date is July 2021.
It was June 2020.
June 2021.
Yeah.
So the state is just now being opened again.
Yes.
They have to rehire an entire new staff.
Yeah.
And put them in full work mode.
Yep. Especially there where the turnaround rate is insane.
You have an entire staff because everybody got better jobs.
Yeah.
Anybody who was working there went out and got better jobs.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Because people trust you if you come from BJ's.
Mm-hmm.
It's a corporate place, and if you survive there, that means that there's you had to abide by certain shit.
Yeah.
Points of standard. You had to say all the stupid shit at the top.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
We used to get secret shoppers, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
had to say the stupid shit at the top, and everyone's like, yeah, we don't want that. I'm like, all I needed you to say was, we don't want that.
Yeah.
And I can skip over all that shit.
Exactly.
But if you sit there, I have to say all of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's even worse if you're a bartender. Would never want to be a bartender at BJ's.
I was.
They have to say so much shit. Oh my god.
I didn't do any of that.
You didn't do any of that?
No.
Did you ever get shopped and get in trouble?
Nope.
Oh.
I've got shopped. No, I think I got shopped and I passed.
Yeah.
But my BJ's, I never did any of the fucking steps of service. I did not. I like did some of them just because they were part of my routine.
Yeah.
But no.
I did the steps of service, and it made me racist because I knew what everybody wanted based on their demographic.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm
And
like,
you knew
you want strawberry lemonade. How
and
did you know?
a chicken Alfredo.
Yeah. You want Chardonnay. How
Yeah.
did you know? I know everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they don't know.
That's what I would
people
say.
don't
I'm
know.
like, I know everything.
We do though. We're very intuitive.
Yeah.
So it sounds like to me that Kyle is just a bitch, honestly, at this point.
I'm sorry your mom named you Kyle. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Okay. This is where I had it with the whole experience. The pizza was haphazardly slapped together. Oh, he used haphazardly.
Haphazardly.
Yeah. The pizza was haphazardly slapped together. Almost an entire side of it had no cheese. The toppings were rolling off the top, and the pizza itself was very, very poorly cut. They always are because they have to cut them in those giant pans. They can't get them all the way cut. Yeah. I had to get up from my table. Oh, bummer. Step to the like, woe is me.
Yeah.
Step to the bar, recut the pizza, serve it, step back to my table and eat it. Dude, you sound like if
so the pizza was just over there at the bar, and they're here at the table.
Apparently.
Okay.
Which is weird.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. That's all of what I would have said.
Yeah.
Because everything else he's saying makes me just think he's a bitch.
Yes, exactly.
He's just narrating the night.
Yeah. Yeah. And none of it sounds wrong. Even honestly, like
we had our drinks, the Pepsi was flat. We got our pizza, it took 25 minutes. That's all of it.
Yeah.
He's given us haphazardly.
And they put the pizza on the bar, but I feel like you put the pizza on the bar.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want it on the table. That's what I think would happen.
Yeah, he's describing a table that's as big as like the palm of a hand.
Exactly.
Or something like
exactly.
That. Yeah.
Like you can't fit it. Like that's weird to me.
Yeah.
But I love how he like acts like having to get up from the table, step to the bar, which you were sitting right next to, cut the pizza, serve it. Of course you're gonna.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You mean to tell me you got subpar service at a casual dining establishment? At a high volume casual dining, the devil you say.
During a pandemic?
At the opening day, more or less, of a pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. He said, it felt as ridiculous as it looked. Other customers were even looking at it funny. The final straw for me was when the refills were offered, the server didn't bother asking if my fiance needed more to drink. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He only asked about mine. Because yours is free refills and hers isn't, you fucking jackass.
Well, she had cherry Coke.
She had black cherry soda. So she had
soda.
the soda that BJ's makes.
Oh,
yeah.
Not a black cherry Coke, a black cherry soda.
Black cherry soda.
I'm unfamiliar with the black cherry soda.
You're not.
I'm not familiar.
What, the cream soda, the root beer, the black cherry, and the
root beer. I know the root beer.
orange cream soda?
I know the root beer.
Oh, we had all four of those.
Yeah?
They're really good, actually.
Yeah.
They're made with like pure cane sugar. Well, actually, that's probably a lie, but
it's handcrafted with real hands.
Yeah, with real hands. So he gets my Pepsi, still flat. About 5 minutes later, and he finally gives my fiance her refill after she sat it out where it was obvious her cup was empty. I go into my app to pay the check. We were out of patience for the crap show that was our dinner. Wrong check was assigned to me. Luckily, I was able to input the correct bill, so it updated. We showed the server we paid and took off. We were really looking forward to a good dinner here after so long, but the service was so poor that I didn't even tip. And that's something I always do without fail. Before I rip this guy now, so I'm just going to finish the rest of this because everyone has bad days. Maybe yesterday was theirs. Whatever the root cause, they need to be audited by corporate because someone isn't on top of things. I've contacted them for a refund via their company website. Sorry, BJ, you dropped the ball hard on this visit. Okay, Kyle, I was kind of okay with you at first. I was. And after you said you didn't tip a server who was clearly stressed out in the middle of a pandemic, you fucking suck. You suck, Kyle. I literally hate you with all of my being. I hope that anytime you go out to eat, you just get explosive diarrhea every single time. Like, what a piece of shit.
Explosive diarrhea.
Like, to the point where you're like, I'm just going to cook for the rest of my life. Like, you can't go out to eat. Like, that is so terrible.
That's kind of where I come from. Like, I cook. So I do too. I don't expect really anything out of a restaurant.
Yeah.
I expect environment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't go to a place like BJ's.
Yeah. No.
That sounds like we were trying to have a nice night out.
Yeah.
Don't go to BJ's.
Well, you picked the wrong place.
Don't go to BJ's.
Yeah.
Do you ever see people at BJ's and they say, well, this is Burbank, so maybe not. But we would get people from, the Inland Empire. Yeah. But anyway, oh, this is fine dining.
Oh, yeah.
And then someone would be like, shh, no, it's not. You've been exposed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, this is by no stretch of the imagination fine dining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And again, like what you described here is not that bad of a night out at a restaurant. That is at all. Yeah. I've read so many more reviews where I've made fun of the person, but it's from what they described, it was worse. And to not tip somebody, granted, your bill was probably $35, but you, Kyle, you're not a good person. You're not a good person. That's not a good person thing to do. To not tip somebody in the middle of a pandemic, like you don't understand the struggles that the service industry had to deal with during this pandemic. It was a fucking nightmare.
That's the thing. It's like completely free of context.
Yeah.
We went better than the date. It's like we went during the opening month of a pandemic.
Yeah.
During a mass hiring season.
Yeah.
When people just had to like, because there's a whole steps of service process at BJ's.
Yeah.
Like my place I'm working at now, they're just like, learn how to make the drinks. Everything else you'll figure it out. And I did. And I did.
Yeah.
And I still don't know some of the shit that's on the menu, and nobody gives a shit.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at BJ's, there's like these fucking steps, and you have to follow, and they're really rigid, and they go through the fucking restaurant opening and shit like that. And, and I mean, it's like the first month, all new staff. Yeah. All new staff. Maybe a few of them came back, but you know, if they came back, their lives aren't really great because who comes back to BJ's?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who goes back to BJ's?
Yeah, nobody. That was you're annoying, Kyle.
That's just like you don't understand what's going on in the world.
Exactly.
Really.
Exactly. And it sounds like he doesn't. It sounds like he is like he's been secluded into his house and doesn't know how to function with.
Also, don't they have call ahead seating at BJ's?
They do.
If you really want to get ahead of all that, you know.
Or like if you want, just like we said, don't pick BJ's for a nice night out. Like, what are you, fucking idiot? Like,
yeah, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah, hello. Like, not there's especially
and also not on like a Saturday when it's going to be packed or whatever.
Yeah, and there's a ton more restaurants in the Burbank area that would do a lot better.
There are great restaurants in the Burbank area.
Yeah. For you to go to that one and then act like you're gonna, and then the manager did write back. Oh, of course, it was Kevin. And he wrote just basically to have him email them, most likely for a gift card, because that's what people like Kyle do. They message restaurants like that so that they can get something free.
Yeah, $25, something like that.
Yeah.
Basically a free pizza, maybe a beer.
Yeah, yet you complained the whole time about this place, but you're going to come spend that gift card. And then you're going to keep complaining to get gift cards all the time, because that's what they do. Yeah. People do. They're terrible people.
Yeah. And then, like, someone could lose their livelihood over that.
Yep.
Basically. They're going to get called in and they're just like, dude, someone had a subpar experience.
Yep.
It was the third day of the fucking opening from the pandemic.
Yeah.
And you're not going to eat for like a week or something like that. Go figure something out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you this isn't going to work out. That spiel. That's the best one. This isn't going to work out. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just go fuck myself then, because I don't know what else I'm going to do.
Yeah,
dude, that's so rough. That makes me very angry, because I don't like I've had shitty service, and the only time I think I've never not tipped is when I had to walk out of a restaurant because we weren't getting service. You know what I mean? Like, we had never gotten service. Oh, actually, we still tipped. We just didn't pay the bill because we never got the food.
In the event that I haven't tipped, I kind of left a laundry list of like, I'm just like, dude, like, I asked for water a half hour ago. Yeah. Like, the pitcher's right fucking there. Just give me some fucking water. You know, like.
As people in the industry, like, you have to push us very far. Yeah. Very, very far.
I find for me, because I don't even like going out for the like reasons I just said. Yeah. If a place pisses me off, it's usually not there 2 years later. The whole place. Yeah. You know?
Definitely.
And like, dude, there's a coffee place. This is a perfect example. There's a coffee place opened up around the corner from me, walking distance. It's hard to find a good coffee place. I don't know why. Yeah. Starbucks is great, except their coffee sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Their coffee's awful. And so if you can find a place with good coffee and snacks and the whole thing, you know, and they're open, because I don't know why, like, coffee at night is a weird thing.
I love it. I drink coffee at night.
It should make perfect sense. Yeah. Coffee places should be open late, but they're not. Yeah. You know, a lot of them close at like 6 p.m. or whatever. Right. But like, so this place opened up, and like right away I saw, I'm like, this is too ambitious. Yeah. They have too much shit. Yeah. And it already had like a bear with us. These people are trainees, and I'm like, how bad is it here? Yeah. You know? Yeah. And like, it was one of those where I'm like, oh, I'll have a large and a small coffee. And he's like, a large and a what? And a small. And what's the other one? Large. Well, okay, what's going? Whoa. And then so I bring a bottle of water up there, and he's like, will that be it? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what about the bottle? And I'm like, the bottle too.
Obviously.
I brought the fucking, you know, and then like and then I came back another time, and another thing I loved is they had little bites, because I'm not always trying to fucking have a 500 calorie meal when I have a pastry. I just want a little fucking thing to have with my coffee, you know.
Yeah.
And I really don't even take that. I take like a double shot with some milk, you know, like I don't take like a lot. And so they had these, and then it was taking like 10 minutes, and I'm just like, don't you just put them in the tray and fucking? And she's just like, yeah, we're heating it up. And I'm like, are you making it? Are you baking it right now? Is it being made? Is it like being invented right now?
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, no. I'm like, because I never have them hot. And she's like, okay, I'll just give it to you now. And she gave it to me frozen. And she gave me this one thing like about the size of a little fucking ping pong ball in this giant to-go box.
Oh my
And it's just
God.
rolling around in there. And I'm like, and she clearly was like, fuck this place.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Damn.
and that time, and I didn't write a review to Yelp. I wrote like, I tagged them in a post, in an Instagram post, and I'm like, when the coffee place has the bomb coffee and sucks at literally everything else.
That's insane. Like
It was closed down a week later.
What?
I tagged them, and I'm just like, they suck at everything else, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
Like, figure it out. Have a manager on staff. Like, I never see a manager.
Who's opening those places is my question. You know what I mean? Like, who's opening that going, yeah, this is going to be great.
They rebranded, reopened. So this is what happened in between. I found out they were closed because I just went there one day. I'm like, because I never trusted them with shit. So I just want a double shot of your good coffee and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
you know, like
that's
I
it.
don't want to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
But you got the good coffee. You got me by the balls.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and I just fucking opened the door and it was locked. I see it was locked, but it opened anyway, which is right on brand.
Yeah.
And I step inside and I'm like, I see like moving boxes and I'm like, this place is closed, but the refrigerators is still going. And I'm like, dude, I could get free coffee right now.
Did you?
And I'm just like, I'm just like eyeing where the cups are, and I'm just like, this has to be a fast operation because there's a thin line between I stumbled in here accidentally and I'm fucking looting the place.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, of course.
So I just kind of go back there casual. I'm like, okay, syrup or fucking flavor. I just want simple syrup. Fucking no flavor. And going back there fumbling, I get some cold brew. And then the owner comes in. He's like, hi. I'm like, hi. And I just that fuck you very much smile on my face.
Yeah.
Like I belong there. And he's like, we're closed. I'm like, are you closed forever? He's like, we're going to reopen. I'm like, well, I had a feeling you were closed forever, so I helped myself to some coffee. Anyway, have a great day. He was too confused to do anything. I'm just like,
yeah.
And then someone else came in. He's like, can I have some coffee too? He's like, no, we're closed. I don't think I felt that gangster since I was an actual drug dealer as a kid.
That is pretty fucking gangster. That is pretty fucking gangster.
Yeah.
And I do want to know about that drug story. We're going to have to bring you back on.
No, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. That's been the end of the podcast, though, Gino. That's it.
That was fun.
That was fun. Thank you so much for being on. Do you have anything to plug? Anything you got going on right now? Great.
Okay. So, I do have a book available. It's called Redfish, Bluefish, F-Fish, U-Fish.
Nice.
Written by me, illustrated by my fiance. It sounds like a mom and pop operation, but it actually is really great.
Nice.
Check me out on Pornhub at Rocco100K. I'm really trying to get traffic to my site.
What's your Instagram handle?
And X videos. And my Instagram handle is at bad motherfucking name Gino.
Nice. All right, guys. That was fun. This was fun dishing about people, you know. And you know what? Fuck Kyle.
Fuck Kyle.
Fuck Kyle, dude.
Yes.